Okay, with regards to inflation, right now we're seeing a concept called the Phillips curve, and the Phillips curve is holding. And there's an inverse relationship between unemployment and inflation. And right now unemployment's high, and so inflation is low. We expect inflation rates to be mild, to be in containment, to be contained for the foreseeable future, several years perhaps. And one of the reasons is because our aggregate demand curve has really shifted in, it's been depressed. And there's no way for inflation to get started unless the aggregate demand curve is stimulated and pushed out again. And that can happen. I think some of the concerns is that there's been so much sort of liquidity pushed with the Federal Reserve. And the question is, how are they going to get their balance sheet back in order to normalized rates without get this money supply back down so that the country will achieve this growth rate that we're looking for, yet keep inflation in check. And this is a very delicate balancing act that the Federal Reserve is going to have to do. And it has not ever been, this will be a first time. We don't know, this is why future projections are difficult, but we can say, I'm just even looking at some of the literature from Bernanke and others, that inflation is not a problem at this time. We're worried about more of deflation still with the aggregate demand curve being depressed. But I think that we'll start to see maybe 1% inflation rates next year, very modest. In fact, let me just say one more thing about in the 2010 Social Security Administration will be giving 0% increase to the, just came out today, to the Social Security recipients because inflation is in check. There's no CPI growth. So we're not worried about it in the near future. The question is, what's 2 or 3 years down the road? And that's where the question comes in.